Good morning. Got a response.
Yes.
Morning, Alicia.
Good morning, everyone.
We'll now open the Thursday, March 19th, 2026 OLCC commission meeting. And you take the roll, please.
Commissioner Vouchpie,
Here.
Commissioner Chowry,
Here.
Commissioner Glenn,
Glenn is traveling, so she's absent today.
Commissioner Hayes,
Here.
Commissioner Huffman,
Here.
Commissioner Molinas,
Here.
Commissioner Minty,
Here.
Commissioner Warren, here, Chair Doherty.
Here. Unless you're looking very tan, where are you?
I am somewhere where it's going to be 104 today.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'd rather be in the rain.
All right, so is Andy Jurek going to give us a, there you are. Didn't see you over there. Welcome. How are you? What am I doing here? Oh, sorry. Hang on one second. I've got to approve the minutes.
Chair, I move that we approve the minutes from the February 19th, 2026 meeting. as
Second.
written.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Commissioner Vouchpie,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Molinas.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. Okay, now, Andy, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. I got a PowerPoint coming up. For the record, my name is Andy Jurek. I'm the Director of Alcohol Compliance for the Public Safety Program. And I'm gonna go over some pretty high level stuff on what the compliance folks do for our marijuana and alcohol inspectors. And then I'll talk about some of the stuff going on statewide, about some of the challenges we have, some of the priorities we have, talk about some of our goals. Go to the second one. Yeah, so we have our mission statement here at the agency, and the compliance division, we take some of that, the mission statement, and we apply some of the goals, and some of our major goals is enforcement through the Liquor Control Act, Bottle Bill, and the Marijuana Control Act. We investigate violations. We work with stakeholders. We work with licensees and permittees, and we educate and we work on complaints and concerns of the citizens. And we also work with the administrative division if we have violations. The next slide. So sometimes we come here to Portland, we have the commission meetings, and we think we're just in the Portland area, but I want to kind of highlight some of the work we do across the state. We are a statewide agency. We have 12 offices across the state, including regional offices and satellite offices. We have the 5 major regional offices in Medford, Bend, Portland, Eugene, and Salem. We also have some outlier satellite offices out of those regions. And the difference between the regional offices, we have managers in the region with inspectors, and then we have satellite offices that some are available for the public out in different communities and different counties. And we have staff there where some are open to the public. We have limited hours, but it allows a place for the public and the community to go to a brick and mortar place to interact with our inspectors and folks in our office. Across the state, it's broken up. There's a lot of things that go on in different states, different regions. Here in Portland, we have a mix of all license types. Every license type we have, there's someone here in this metro area working with that license, both alcohol and marijuana. We start moving around and get down south in the mid-central area. We have wine country. We do the Salem office. They deal with a lot of wineries and license types like that. Central Oregon, they have big events on the eastern side, the Pilgrims Roundup, which everyone's familiar with. We have the Whiskey Fest. A lot of breweries come out of the Bend area, so we have a lot of Oregonians making good brew for us. And then on Southern Oregon, they're famous for the marijuana side, and they also have some wineries, and they have special events, big events down there that they cover. The next slide. So talk about our regulatory specialists or inspectors, as we refer to them. We're mandated in statute and governed that way through ORS 471 for the alcohol side. 47.
Okay. On that.
Do I need to go back?
No, I'll just,
And under 475C for the cannabis side. It's in statute that they have to be certified through the state, so we attend the state training center, the Oregon Public Safety Standards, DPSST is what we call it. They have to go to 160 hours. It ends up being about 4 weeks at the academy there in Salem. And then once they're certified, they have to yearly and once a year and every 3 years annually keep those certifications up by taking ethics training, DT training, airway type training, and there's a lot of training that we do to maintain those hours to keep that certification up. So it maintains a professional type of inspector they just don't go out and once they get hired, they just go out and do the job. They have to do the job plus maintain the certification. So we do that through TPSST at the academy, and then we do it in-house too with a lot of annual training through DT. And one of our big goals is education is our first approach with licensees and permittees. We want to promote good business and have good partnerships with those folks. So we're doing our first approach is through the education. I'll talk a little bit more later about our first call program and some of the things that we have. Next one, please. So our priorities we have that are mandated by statute, and we have KPMs that we have to follow in the minor sales and minor program through our MDO, and I'll talk a little bit more in depth about that later. But we monitor that, and then the rate for minor decoy sell, we really double down on the education to make sure that the licensees and staff are doing what they need to do. And then we handle that through a first call. So when a new license is issued, we have a program where it's a first call, and it's where the inspector of that licensee or that district or part of the city will go out and introduce themselves, get their contact information to them, and then make sure that the licensee has everything they need. Signage, is there any type of training that they need? That's where we'll introduce, we do on-site training with new employees, current employees, and help the licensee develop maybe a training program for new employees that will be coming on. We support the businesses that way. Our ultimate goal is, like I said, is education. We're not out there to shut them down. We want them to be successful because that's good all the way around for the state. Like I said, the training we want to prevent sales to minors. That is our number one goal, is to keep alcohol out of minors, and we want to keep a licensee location safe for patrons to go and have a good time and drink responsibly. We do that through, doing ID checking, training, and then we also want to recognize fake IDs, which is a huge problem right now, not just in this state, but nationally. The IDs have gotten really, really good with, technology, printers, things like that. So it becomes very difficult to sometimes spot a fake ID. So we really try to help the licensees understand that they need to take that couple extra seconds to ask the questions, not just take that face value, but maybe ask some more questions, see if they can make sure that they are of age. So that is a big problem, and it's a constant. You can go to any of our regions and find hundreds and maybe thousands of fake IDs that we have seized over the years that at one point were so good that we reached out to the FBI to let them see them. So they were aware that they were so good, because if they're that good, they might be doing some other things outside of our authority, but they're very good. So that continues to be a problem. We continue to address it every day. One of the things we do is develop our partnerships with a lot of different folks. We work with local government at the licensing stage beginning, and then it gets passed over to continuing as we go into renewals. We take information, concerns from the local governing bodies, that they have concerns with a licensee that they're not happy with, they'll let us know that and we can work through that. And so we take the information from the local cities, local counties, when it comes to licensing some of these locations. And we're constantly on the marijuana side, working with the local governments and local law enforcement when it comes to dealing with the compliance side of marijuana. I'll talk a little bit about some of those concerns later. Like I said, we work with DPSST. That's kind of where it starts, one of our local agencies, getting our folks certified. We work a lot with the health department. We have a lot that's really picked up lately with the hemp THC things that we have going on with drinks and foods, edibles in some of our licensed locations. So we're working through that constantly. And a big thing on one of our agencies we work with is water resource folks. When it comes to marijuana and growing, that some of the producers and the usage of water. So we work with those quite a bit. And another big one too is annually we're averaging about 9,500 special events yearly in different parts of the state. And those are the special event license they can get for the rodeos, Oktoberfest, Pendleton Roundup. It's outside of a normal liquor license per se. So we get a lot of input from them. We work with a lot of local law enforcement. Some of the bigger events require a coordination between not just us, but, code enforcement, law enforcement, trafficking, things like that. So there are a lot of folks coming into events. Seafood and wine is a huge one that's on the coast. They usually have it in February, and when they stop at the end of February, they start the next month in March. They start planning for the next year. So that's how big of an event that is for the coast. Excellent. Speaking of partnerships, I was had the fun time last week of being part of the Portland Police, the OSP and the Portland Bureau of Transportation. They were highlighting the Safe Ride program during the St. Patrick's Day holiday. And so we got to go do a press release with them and kind of show our partnership that we want to be part of a solution to help people have, be responsible drinkers and have a good time. So it was a good time, got to be part of that and give, kind of highlight what OLCC does and how we manage our licensees. So that was fun. So we're kind of working with the comms unit. We're going to start getting out there more. I think it falls in line with our strategic plan of rebranding OLCC and getting out there to let folks know we're there to help and be part of the.
You're getting famous now because you're on TV.
What's that?
You're getting famous now that you're on TV?
Yes. I'm gonna have to up my wardrobe now. Next slide. So that we do a lot of stuff, how we kind of help people being in compliance. We do that through investigations. We get complaints from citizens. We get complaints from other licensees. We get police reports from law enforcement. It can be anywhere from a place is rowdy or we're getting a lot of Deweys out of a place. So that's how we kind of get our information, how licensees are acting. And then we're also out there doing discovery. We're finding things on our own. We're going out and doing observations of locations, making sure that they're following the rules. And if we find these things either through a complaint or through discovery, our first step is an education approach. We work with them. We offer suggestions. We give best practices. They can adopt them or not. We try to help them be successful. And they either get on board and they follow the rules and we don't have any issues. And if they don't, we have mechanisms where we can go down that path. And that's where we end up with the hearings division. And then that's when you folks end up hearing about them when they come here, either through a settlement or some other process through the hearings. The marijuana side has a good program. It's the VOC, verification of compliance. And there again, that's more of the kind of working with and educating. The best way to describe a VOC or verification of compliance is like getting a fix-it ticket. So it gives an opportunity to, if you have a headlight out, you can go get it fixed, take it, get your ticket basically removed, and it's not on your record, and we move on. It also documents history or things that they have, if we start seeing a pattern during our investigation, we can look at some of that stuff and see if they did correct the issue or the violation. So it's a good program. We've been talking about bringing it to the alcohol program. We're still working on that. So it's a great program, and it falls in line with the education first. The next slide. Talk a little bit, I mentioned earlier about our minor decoy program. That is really kind of the bread and butter for the compliance folks. The minor decoy program is, we have a uniform standard program that's set by statute. And what that says is when we conduct these minor decoys is we have to do it a very specific way. We have to use someone that is between the ages of 18 and 20. They have to use their real ID and they can't lie. We changed that a couple years ago. We can have a little bit of deception when we're testing the home delivery, because when you place a home delivery like a DoorDash and then they can have alcohol delivered, you have to tell them that you're over 21, you're ordering alcohol. So we had to get that rule adjusted a little bit so we could at least get them there because ultimately we want the drivers in that case to check the ID before they release the alcohol. So we're setting statute on, we don't go in there, we don't lie. It's not a sting. A lot of people call it sting, but it's very structured on how we do it. So it's set up so they do check the ID. And we did a couple years ago implement a program where we hire minor decoys now. And so basically they come in as an employee, so we have more access and we can conduct more minor decoy operations. Before it was just kind of a voluntary basis. They weren't paid. We would get a lot of folks from the colleges going through a criminology class or something, and it would help them kind of see the regulatory world. We do this through how we select our licensees is through a randomization program. If it meets a certain criteria of a population, they get put in a program, and if it's about 10 or 20 or how many locations we want to check. The other way we get them is if we get a complaint from a citizen and we find it viable, they go on what they call a targeted list. And then that will, let's say the complaint has to fall under sales to minors. We get reports that minors are going in there and purchasing alcohol. So they get on the list and we'll go out and check them and see if that is correct. The other one is a recheck. So if they do sell on a minor decoy operation, they get on a recheck list. So we go back after 45 days. And in that 45 days, we work with the licensee to train them, offer up in-person training to their staff for ID checking and looking for visibly intoxicated persons. So then we go to a recheck. So that's kind of how, in a nutshell, how the minor decoy program works. And, we've been pretty successful. We'll get them first time maybe, and then after that, they do really well. We just continue to train them. And then we avoid going down the path of either a civil penalty if they do continue to sell, and then that or suspension. So, or they can request a hearing through the hearings division. That's it. Our common violations that we run into on the alcohol side, a lot of it is the failure to check ID, basically the minor decoys, right? Because we're out there doing this, that's going to be one of our top violations. Another one is the sale to an very intoxicated person or VIP. I'm weird, but anyway. So those are our common ones, and then another one that's been falling in that kind of risen to the top because of the redemption center and the bottle thing is failing to accept container returns. That's pretty charged conversation right now, but we are dealing with those. That's one of our responsibilities. So we're working with the stores and getting them into compliance and having them understand the rules. And the last one there for the alcohol side is we get a lot of noise and disorderly activity. We go in there and address that pretty quickly because we work with a lot of other city code people on this one. So we kind of hit it multiple agencies, kind of hit it and kind of get them into compliance. The marijuana side, it's a little bit different. We have a lot of worker permit issues, and that is just really getting people that are coming into the industry, getting them signed up and getting their worker permits issued. Sales to minors, again, we have that because we do the minor decoy checks also on the marijuana side. Camera violations, that tends to be a big one because, people like, it's expensive to run it, but they turn the cameras off. They have to maintain those cameras. That's part of the rules. That's how we can make sure that they're doing things right, at the licensed location, and because we can go back and review cameras and see if there's any, activity. And then the cannabis tracking system, CTS, that is a huge, one that we look at, and because the CTS program allows us to basically track seed to sell. They put the seed in the ground, they plant it, the plant grows, they process it, they produce it, they turn it into whatever they're going to turn it into, and it hits the retail side. And we can track that all the way out to the customer. And it not only lets us track what's happening, it also helps with safety issues. If we have a recall, if we find something, a pesticide issue, or we have something come up during that processing stage before it hits the retail side, if we need to recall that, this helps us track that, and we know exactly what products to pull off the shelf. So it helps keep the safe products, the safety part, and not let consumers get something that's bad. Bless you. And then the last one is there's fail to notify for harvest. We have rules set, and when they do harvest, they have to notify us within a certain amount of time. That way we can get out there and check and make sure that they're harvesting right, and keep them inside the rules. Some of the challenge, I mentioned we have some challenges that we deal with daily, for the alcohol side. For the ID checking, we've discovered that businesses are relying on AVs quite a bit, the age verification equipment. And the age verification equipment will work at face value, but again, it's just a tool. It should alert the server or whoever's checking the ID that this is either not a good ID, and I need to follow up and ask more questions. Maybe see another alternative ID. Because if you use the AV and if you follow up the uniform minor decoy process, they're using their actual ID, and if they scan it, it's going to say they're under 21. They shouldn't sell. But if a clerk doesn't look and disregards that and moves them on, and they sell it, or they don't look at the ID, they could have an ID of another person that is of age, and they're not looking at the photo, and they're not looking at the person standing in front of them. That's why when we do our training, it's important part to grab that ID, look at it. Some of the older styles, if they are fake, they won't feel right. And to look at the picture and look at the person standing in front of them, and then start the follow-up questions. If they just rely on the AV, scan it, it says over 21, they don't look at the picture, but the person that's used the fake ID, they're gonna get passed. So that's a challenge that we work with every day. So, and the other problem too is where we'll have a lot of cells is a high turnover of employees. They can't maintain employees for whatever reason. And then a lot of that experience goes out. What we saw, pre-COVID is a lot of these people that were working the doors or they were clerks, they had a lot of experience and they could pick up on these things pretty quick. They could spot an ID really quickly because they knew what they were looking for. They just had a lot of time in the business. After COVID, people were reluctant to come back to the hospitality industry. So it creates a lot of turnover. So that, they just need to be more aware. So we offer up that training where we'll come out more. Again, it's the over service is the same thing. It's that experience level. When do I cut someone off? When can I start to recognize the signs of someone that's over intoxicated and shouldn't be served anymore? And a lot of that comes with training and time and experience. The bottle bill, like I said, it hit one of our top priorities of violations. And that's just because of a lot of the things going on with OBRC and the redemption centers and some of the things that have changed with that. They run the program, we just kind of support it. So a lot of things is we coordinate with them quite a bit, lots of communication. We have the bottle bill folks that have daily conversations. So we just try to work through that together as a group. And then we field a lot of community concerns, we get complaints, so we address those too the best we can. Thanks. And the challenges, I'm gonna have to go to my notes because I don't spend a lot of majority of my time is obviously the alcohol side, but I did want to take some notes, kind of cover some things about the marijuana I didn't want to miss. You know, there is a struggle always with the diversion and the illegal grows. We work with those the best we can. We have very limited authority. When they start to go outside of our authority and we find these illegal grows. So that's where we have to have that partnership with law enforcement. Sometimes they tell us, sometimes we find out about them, we tell them, and then they go work their side of that part. Where we find our challenges to figure out how the system is working and how things are moving outside of the licensed facility and diversion. And then we also look at inversion. Sometimes they'll grow stuff outside of a licensed location and they'll try to bring it inside. And a lot of this is driven by, we produced, I think 2025 is over 4.5 million pounds of marijuana. That's a lot of marijuana when consumption and the pricing has come down. That's driven the pricing down. So that what you hear a lot is people trying to keep the lights on, so they may step over and try to divert it outside of the legal market to try to keep the lights on. It's a constant challenge that we work with you every day. So it's tough, but we get through it and we just continue to work through it. One thing I want to talk about too is the hemp. It's fairly new for us. January 1 of 2026, we got rules statute that we were going to be regulating some of that hemp. So basically, they have to register with us the product they want to sell, and we go through a check, make sure the label's right, it meets the requirements, the dosage is right, and the potency is right, and then that gets approved. Last I heard yesterday, we have 25 registered products that we're looking at now. We'll start reviewing those shortly. We haven't done any enforcement. That is, moratorium is on hold until July 1 of this year. And once that happens and we get staff in place, we'll start going out and again, take the education approach, start educating people, because this is a new thing of what is to be in compliant, and make sure we'll be going out and checking places to make sure they're compliant once we start getting products approved. That's it. Questions? I know that was a lot. I appreciate the time. I hope I answered some questions. Yeah.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much. That was excellent.
Thanks, Andy. I have a couple questions. One, with the age verification equipment, and I've asked this in commission meetings, I'm involved with a lot of bars and restaurants. So since I've become a commissioner, I'm particularly interested in, some of the struggles that we have with enforcing age verification. And so these machines, I've always been intrigued. Are they simply cross-referencing or looking at the integrity of the ID and then providing feedback based on what they're seeing? Or are they actually going to a database somewhere to see if this person exists?
Well, thank you for the question. I can't speak on how the AVE works. I know we do use an AVE verification program that our inspectors have on their phones, and we pay a monthly fee for it, but it is attached to the DMV database for 50 states. I can't speak to how other AVE programs work because I haven't looked at those. And this one was very unique to us because it has a component to be tied to the DMV. I'm assuming they do some sort of database, but the way it works is there's a code on the barcode on the back of your ID, and there's information embedded in that. And somehow the program can look at it and pull that information out. But, I talked earlier about some of these IDs are getting so good that people that make them, they've learned that. So they'll not just change the front they've getting now where they'll actually take the real person's photo. All their information will be the same. Their address, their height, weight, gender, all that will be the same, but they'll just change the birthday to make them over 21. And they're also now changing the barcode where before they weren't, because they didn't realize that that's how they were getting their information. So now they're changing the barcode. So that's why, you know, we teach the AV is just a tool. Please don't rely on it. It's a tool. You know, and people that work the doors of bars, their tool is they'll have a blue light and they can look at license and license have holograms embedded in them and they're a certain way. And some of the people that make these IDs haven't quite figured out how to make those look right. So that's usually how they'll catch them. But I can't answer the question of how the programs work for some, but there is probably a database that they do draw from. Where they get it, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I was in Eugene for my stepson's 21st birthday, and I don't want to incriminate anybody specifically, especially not my family, but I had an opportunity to review about 4 or 5 licenses from kids at the party, and they were kind of mind-blowing in terms of their sophistication.
Yeah.
And they all told me that they got them for $30 from an online group that makes them out of China. And I've been in the industry for a long time, and I could not tell.
It's very difficult there, and through our investigations, we have found that majority of them come out of China, some website. There's some that, you know, $99 you'll get 2, and some advertise if you get arrested or you get, you know, law enforcement contact, you give us the case number, send us the case number from your, you know, your criminal. Cause you're probably gonna get the criminal part from the law enforcement, send us a case number and we'll send you 2 more for free.
Oh, my God.
It is a problem, and we, you know, we, in the Eugene region and the Corvallis region, because there's 2 major colleges there, we work with the colleges too, and it takes a big group to manage that, because we can't be everywhere all the time. We have very limited authority, but we can bring in other agencies. That's why it was important that we work with partners. We work with student conduct, we work with the athletic department at both universities. You know, that's just where a lot of the problems may be, and the younger groups. So we work with a lot of folks. Yes, I've heard from other states that are controlled that if you join a fraternity at a college, you get a goodie bag, and one of the things you get is 2 fake IDs. So it is a problem, and it's just something we constantly work at.
Well,
Is already a fast
Yeah,
question. So for the minor decoy program, you're not allowed to lie.
Correct.
That's in statute.
And the only part that allows us is, like I said, when we're doing a third party check, we actually have that rule, and it's only when we do that, not when I'm walking up to the clerk or walking up to the bartender. We can't be deceptive, can't lie.
Yeah.
So they don't alter anything about their appearance. We don't have them grow out their hair, grow facial hair, dress older. That's a thing, but they just go in as they are.
Yeah, and personally, I think this is a huge Achilles heel for the program and for age verification in general, because it's well known in the industry that you're not allowed to lie. And so there's a default idea that if you're too busy, you just simply ask how old they are. And that somehow absolves you from not verifying the ID. Right? Which is a really silly workaround.
It is a workaround, but we have a workaround too that, I mean, I won't share our tactics, but we're not being deceptive, I will tell you that.
All right.
There's ways that we can, because we do identify that. We've gotten in what we call OODA loops. How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? And there's things that we can do, that the minor can do, that's not deceptive. We want them to look at the ID and see that and say, man, make the decision. You don't look, and I can't verify, I'm not selling to you. That's ultimately, and it's okay to say no. And we'll get those complaints. I'm over 21. I got denied. Well, they have the right to do that too. You know, as a licensee. Hope that answers your question.
sure. Any other questions? So you're covering both marijuana and alcohol under your.
No, I just threw the short straw to talk about both. And now I'm happy to. I do cover the other side periodically. We got a lot of work to do. So, and you know, history is I've been with the agency for 10 years. So I was a regional manager down in Eugene and Bend. So I had both disciplines. So I know enough to be dangerous on the marijuana side. I'll
Well,
say
thank
that.
you for doing that. In Southern Oregon, we had a big problem with a lot of people from other countries coming in and growing and illegal grows and all that. How are we doing in that arena? Is it better?
It's a continuing, you know, we learn tactics. We counter those, they learn more, so it's a constant. And I think, you know, that you're going down that path of the trafficking and that the labor trafficking is always a big problem.
Yeah.
And both, more on the marijuana side than you see it on the alcohol side, but it is something that we work with our other agencies to look into that.
I know it seemed to be huge like a couple of years ago, and I don't know if it's still a problem, but less or.
I don't know the numbers, but I would think it's better because we did, you know, when we did, for those that don't know, I mean, we did an operation down there in Table Rock many years ago, and that's where we discovered a lot of the labor trafficking issues.
Yeah.
So I think and overall, I think nationwide there's a lot more eyes on the problem. So I think it is getting better.
Okay. Well, you mentioned a couple of times that your authority is limited. What do you mean? Yeah. What's limiting your authority?
So our authority is at the licensed locations. So.
Oh, at the location only?
Yes, so
Okay.
wherever a location is, we do have livability authority to, you know, things. When I say livability is if things spill out from a licensed location, let's use an example as a bar, and it's a rowdy bar and things spill out into the street, start going blocks down. We can't go out and enforce things beyond that, but what it allows us to do is to capture that information, usually from law enforcement. Say what's going on down the street that was part of this. We get a lot of that in the Dewey reports that we get. So someone that's been at a bar, they get stopped down the road, they're over the legal limit, and the investigating officer finds it. Hey, where were you? I was down here at that place. We'll get that report and then we look into it at the location. We can look at cameras, we can look at bar logs, we can go and interview bartenders, staff, things like that to see if, because that tells us if someone is at a high BAC over the legal limit and they get in their car, did they get served too much? Were they showing signs of being visibly intoxicated that they needed to be cut off? So that's the thing that we'll look at, and that's the limited authority.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions, commissioners? Andy, thank you. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Very informative. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Alan. Do a construction update for us?
Yes, sir.
How you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. Joe.
Good to see you again.
Good morning, Chair Doherty, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Alan Rowe. I am filling in for, Alan Rowe, Distribution Services Deputy Director. I'm filling in for Lisa Bertram's normal construction updates for you all. Let you know what's going on, the progress we're making out in Canby. So this is the front of the building as of a month ago. And so it's sort of our starting point. I'll let you know what we've been working on since then. Here we are as of the beginning of March. We've added some more, most of the work obviously is going to be on the inside. You're not really going to see it from the outside, but they are starting to get the front facade on the beginning, the outside of the administration offices there. There's actual paint going on as of yesterday on our tour out there. They're starting to paint the building as well. So what's going on inside there? Lots of work going on inside the employee offices, the maintenance shops, and the common areas. The exterior facades are going on, like I said. We're going to talk about the roof structures a little bit. A few other items, and very excitingly, our material handling system equipment platform has been installed. So we'll get to that. This is a layout of the 3D rendering of the layout of the warehouse, fully racked and operational. This is what we're shooting towards. This is just to give you a point of reference. So as we walk through the other slides, I'd just like to point out that the upper right-hand corner that you see there, that's the administrative offices, the main offices. The small box in the center of the bottom of the picture is the, what we call the dock offices. That is, that's going to be the warehouse managers with the lead workers out there managing the shipping and the receiving. Further to the top left, those little spots you see there, thank you, Laura. That's the maintenance shops and ASD shops and bays. One of the big points I'd like to point out that we're going to talk about later is the big yellow strip in the bottom left corner. That is the equipment platform, and that's what's going to be carrying the conveyance system about 20 feet in the air above all the picking modules before the conveyance ships the cases out the doors. So just a frame of reference, so when we talk about these, you know what I'm talking about. This is the dock office, like I was talking about before, down there at the, let's see, I guess that's the west side of the building, by the shipping and receiving doors. There's a lot of painting been going underway. Windows are getting installed into the offices. Our stair tower assembly is almost completely set up, and we've installed a very heavy duty shop crane in the maintenance bay. So standing here, this is, now we've jumped up to the upper right-hand corner that I was talking about before, to the administrative offices. The main office, we call it. The picture on the left is the human resources corner. You can see that they've got all the walls up, all the ply, excuse me, the drywall and all the money has been done. A lot of painting's been going on as well. And we wanted to point out that the window installations have also gone in. All of the exterior windows are up and in. The right-hand picture you see are going to be the deputy director's offices within that main office area. And this is also in that main office area. If you turn around, you can see outside the windows there into our courtyard and parking lot areas. But again, just to show you that all of the main office windows, exterior windows are all in place now. This is, part of this is the shop areas, and some of this is the internal, the main office areas. But you can see they've actually got walls painted, and they're doing some ceiling prep before they put drop tile ceilings in. Looks like the handsome gentleman there on the left is showing, I did not pick the pictures. I was just showing you I think that's the HR. That's the HR department now. You can see they've got the paintings going in. The walls are finally getting all cleaned up. The flooring is all set and done. And the spaghetti monster there on the right, just wanted to point out and kind of show you all the cable prepping that's going in to go to the server room for the OIS department. Our electrical room, sort of the heart of all of the warehouse, and all the electrical components will feed through here. This is where we get our power from the city, as well as the fire pump room. That massive monstrosity of a fire pump and pipes are going to make sure that our fire sprinklers are fully pressurized at all times. This is the maintenance shop on the left-hand side, fully painted, walls fully sanded and painted. They're installing plywood along the walls, 3/4 inch plywood, so they can hang lots of things on the walls. It's just a lot easier to do through the plywood as it is to drywall anchors. Also, this is around the picture on the right, around the corner from the maintenance shops are just more warehouse available bathrooms, water closets, if you will. The picture on the left is our stairway access to the roofs. You can see a bit of daylight there in the center of the picture. That is the roof access to the administrative offices, which are about half the height of the regular building. The rest of the ladder continues on up. There's a roof hatch that will actually, a ladder that will go straight up to access the roof to the rest of the warehouse. Right next door to the ladder, the stairway to the roof, is our commuter entrance. If you're a bicycle rider, you can come in, you'll be able to badge yourself into that exterior door in the background. There'll be lots of bicycle hanging racks on the walls here. park your bike, and then you can use your badge access once again to come through that open black gate that you see in the center of the back, that picture. And this is, once again, this is the stairway to the roof hatch, that bit of daylight in the middle of that picture that you see. Just want to give a point of reference. The picture on the left shows where that roof, that door is coming out, in the middle of the wall there, just in the corner there of the daylight that you see on the right. Thank you, Laura. That's the door that goes out to the roof of the administrative offices. Our shop crane that we've installed that will assist our maintenance crew for removing and replacing the forklift batteries. Now we're going to talk about what's going on the outside. The exterior facade has been going on. Some painting has been happening. The roof cover is completed, all except for the parapet. The parapet structures still need to be coated and painted and capped. The PV panels, 1 of 2 are already installed, and the front facade, we got a lot of that blue sheet metal that you can see there in the corner. It'll be a combination of gray paint and that blue sort of wiggle board metal facade that you see going on underneath that window. You can see the front of the building once again. On the left, all the Tyvek's been up and all the insulation. And then on the right, you can see that we've actually got a lot of that facade work going on with the paint and metal. Up on the roof, this is our solar panel array, the photovoltaic cells on the south end of the building. There will be another array this size on the north end of the building as well. But this one here on the south end is completely done and ready for installation or ready for hookup. This is the employee patio area. So this will be where employees, it's just off the cafeteria. So for their lunch or break time, you don't have to stay inside. We're going to have a nice little fenced in courtyard. Part of it is undercover. Some of that cover has open exposed ceiling. So we get some daylight coming through, some ambient light into the office areas. There'll be benching and lots of landscaping. It'll be a very nice sort of peaceful, calm, it's much similar to our courtyard that we have here in the middle of the building now. Moving on to other items, we're going to talk about the high value cage is installed, minus the gates, the equipment platform, which you're looking at right now, and the outside of all of the receiving and shipping doors, all of our dock locks and dock levelers are in. This is my high value cage, so we have to make sure that bottles over a certain dollar value are protected, kept under camera, kept under lock and key, so that no accidents happen and we don't experience shrinkage with those items. There will be a large forklift sized door in the middle of that cage, and there'll be racking against the back wall, so we can actually put full pallets of product in there, as well as lots of shelves of single cases and single bottles. Right now, the cage is being used for construction, storage, and staging. So that's not our product in there. That belongs to JE Dunn. That they promised to have it cleaned up before I get there. Let's see where. Okay, the equipment platform is going in. That is 20 feet in the air. That is where the conveyor belts from the pick modules will have a corkscrew conveyor riser that will take the cases from the ground level up to the top of that conveyor belt and put them up on the merge. They will all merge in up there, go into the sortation system, much similar to what we're doing now, before it goes down the declines and out into the correct shipping doors once they've been sorted. This is up on the platform looking down the aisleways, if you were, those little yellow boxes created by the handrails there in the middle of the picture. Those are the gateways for the declines. So once the conveyor belt comes up from the back of the picture, the background of that picture, they'll come up there, come around the right front of the foreground of this picture, and the conveyor belts will then decline through those gated entries. And the decking went on shortly after that last picture. So the deck is now, the platform is fully decked and ready for the material handling system. This is just a shot from the floor below. It gives you a nice scale. You can actually see right next to the post up on the platform is a person. Below the platform, you can actually see a forklift and a scissor lift below. It kind of gives you a scale of the grand size of the thing. The picture on the left is one of the stairways that comes up or down to the platform from the ground level. And the picture on the right is once again one of those decline aisleways for the conveyor belt to head back down to the ground to the shipping doors. This picture is of the dock office from the equipment platform. So actually on the platform looking down at the shipping and receiving manager's warehouse offices. The plastic tenting all around that is completely temporary. That's all going to come down. It's just to keep the office area clean, dust-free, and a certain temperature and humidity for all the painting that they're doing. Moving to outside again, around the backside, the west side of the building. These are the receiving and shipping doors. The dock locks are all in, which when a truck backs up to the building, there's a hook that when the truck backs up to the building, the bumper of the truck triggers that arm that you see poking out of the building, and a hook will come up and actually grab the bumper of the truck. So the truck cannot accidentally, mistimingly drive away from the building with employees or machinery inside the vehicle. And once again, this is just where the building looks like today, as of yesterday.
Thank you.
And one last fun fact, we have to have the meadowlark fun fact. The scientific name for the western meadowlark is Sternella neglecta, meaning forgotten little starling. Sad, right? This is in reference to the meadowlark being originally overlooked as a distinct species from the starlings themselves. Thankfully, the meadowlark building will be front and center in the OLCC's operation for years to come. We refuse to be neglected.
Ellen, thank
Any
you.
questions?
Yeah, commissioners? Very good. Good job.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah. We're going to recess now. Yeah. Okay, so now the commission will go into executive session to consider records that are exempt from public inspection pursuant to ORS 192.6602F. And the commission will temporarily recess at the same time. It's a public meeting to discuss proposed stipulated settlement agreements from contested cases under ORS 183417 and as authorized under ORS 192.6901. We anticipate reconvening approximately 30 minutes. We are back in session. We'll hear about the stipulated settlement agreements.
Commissioners, my name is Kelsey Sinella. I'm a case presenter with the Administrative Hearings Division here at OLCC. And I have two alcohol stipulated settlement agreements, one marijuana stipulated settlement agreement, and 3 licensing stipulated settlement agreements for your consideration today. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Commissioners, any questions? All right, I would, let's do them in 3 parts here. I would entertain a motion for the alcohol violation stipulated settlement agreement.
Chair, I can move to ratify the 2 alcohol stipulated settlement agreements as proposed by staff.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Take the vote, please.
Commissioner Vashpai,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
I'm going to abstain.
Commissioner Melinas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. I'd also entertain a motion now for the marijuana stipulated settlement agreements. Go ahead.
Chair, I'd like to move to ratify the marijuana stipulated settlement agreements for Nevadon, is that correct?
That's correct.
As proposed by staff.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Please take the vote.
Commissioner Vashpai,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Melinas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. And also entertain a motion for the licensing stipulated settlement agreements.
Chair, I can move to ratify the 3 licensing stipulated settlement agreements as proposed by staff.
And there's a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Please take the vote.
Commissioner Badgett,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Huffman,
Yes.
Commissioner Melinas.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. And we are now adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for all the work you did on putting up with us in the back room. It was very helpful.